Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A brand new episode talking about the father of the nation today. We're talking about Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Joining us is, of course, Professor Fabian. Fabian, sir, happy Gandhi Jayanti. Let's start from there.
Thank you. Happy Gandhi Jayanti to you and to the whole world.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Mahatma Gandhi gave us such a great philosophy, just such a great legacy to go ahead and live our lives. Let's talk about Gandhi Ji and his political philosophy. I mean, his early life, the lawyer, the advocate, the politician. Let's start from there. Let's learn a little bit about that.
Okay. Thank you for the question, which is very important. Now, let me share a distressing story first. Aniket, I do mock interviews for the aspirants who want to join the civil service in India. Now, last month, August, I asked a young candidate from Mumbai to give me 4 or 5 sentences about the Quit India movement. And a bright young man did not mention Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh.
And when I asked him, didn't you know that it was Gandhi who gave the call for the Quit India movement? He said, sorry, sir, nobody had ever told me that, nor had he read a word about it. In other words, a generation is growing up with, ignorance of history.
Oh, that is bad. That is absolutely bad. Quit India movement, Simon Go Back. All of these was such an important part of my 10th, 12th history class and lecture. Oh God, this is bad. Can't say anything much about it. Yeah.
All right. Now, about Gandhi, let me give you a quotation from Albert Einstein.
Uh-huh.
I quote, generations to come, it may well be, will scarce believe that such a man as this one ever in flesh and blood walked upon this earth.
Wow. The brightest mind talking about the brightest politicians. So cool.
Einstein said this in 1939 when Gandhi was turning 70.
Very cool. Very cool.
Right? Now, I will share with you one sort of my recollection before I answer your question.
Okay.
In 1969, I was in Madagascar as a second secretary and charge d'affaires, and I had the privilege to speak on Mahatma Gandhi on the 2nd of October 1969 before the diplomatic corps in Charles de Gaulle University.
Wow.
Now, coming to Gandhi, as we know, he was born in 1869.
Yeah.
He went to England against reservations from the elders. He tried to be a fashionable young man. He tried to learn dancing.
Yeah.
And he was not bad at it. He learned some French also. Because, it is fashionable to know French.
True, very true, very true.
But later on, he thought that was the wrong thing. He had gone to England, learned to study law. He was already married and he shouldn't do any flirting.
Fair enough.
Okay. So, he came back and he wanted to practice in Bombay. Well, first occasion, he could hardly get a word out of his mouth. And then he went to South Africa because a merchant asked him, There he did better.
Yeah.
And then he came across, the treatment they given to Indians. They had to carry a pass, this and that. So he fought against that. He did not fight against apartheid in general.
Okay.
He fought for the Indian community to be treated with dignity.
True.
And he fought with Smuts, General Smuts. And incidentally, when he was in jail in South Africa, he made a pair of chapels for Smuts, for General Smuts. And later on, he returned it to Gandhi, saying that I do not deserve even to tie your shoelaces.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In other words, they fought against each other, but they each had respect for the other.
True. Very true.
Then
Very
he
true.
came to India in 1915, and when he came, the Indian National Congress was active, but their pattern was to meet in a good hotel, 5-star, pass resolutions, and then, go to sleep.
Okay.
Except that when there was a division of Bengal, 1905, by Curzon, and, then the Congress got active. But there was no proper organization. It was not a mass party.
Okay.
So Gandhi came up with this 4 ana membership, 4 ana. 16 annas to the rupee.
Yeah.
So 25 cents, 25 paise. Okay. Now that became a big movement, and he had organization, the Pradesh Congress Committee.
Yeah.
In different parts of India. So he sort of, and then he started non-cooperation, which a man like Jinnah didn't like, because he believed that we should only write to the British government in good legalese and not fight. Okay? So that is how he mobilized India. And let me tell you that much before the people of India said, Bharat Mata ki Jai, much before that, they started saying, Mahatma Gandhi ki Jai. Because the idea of an India, was taking time to, mature. And my college, sorry to be talking about myself, Maharaja's College, Ernakulam. Well, I went there in 1960. But much before that, they had a Hindu mess, a Muslim mess, and a Christian mess. Okay. That is, students did not sit together and eat.
Okay.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I can.
What a senseless thing to do.
Yes, very senseless. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that is that. Now, I would say that Gandhi started the Satyagraha. At one moment, it turned violent, Chauri Chaura. When, they sort of set fire to the police station. Gandhi called off the Satyagraha and said it was his Himalayan blunder. People didn't like it, but he did it. He had a courage of conviction, to admit that he was in the wrong. So, and Gandhi mobilized both Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs. He didn't care what your religion was. We had a common aim. You see? And do you know that Dr. Ambedkar was not in the first list of the cabinet members prepared by Jawaharlal Nehru? Gandhi asked him, invite him. And that is how he was invited. In other words, though Ambedkar did not always have nice things to say about Gandhi, he never had that personal bitterness. He was above that, you see. But let me also tell you, Gandhi was essentially an anarchist. Okay? And he wanted the International Congress to be disbanded and to be made into an NGO, Lok Seva Sangh, and that sort of thing. But it didn't happen. And as regards the partition of India, he opposed it as much as he could. But once the Indian National Congress under Jawaharlal Nehru, Patel, and other leaders, Rajagopalacharya, had agreed to it, Gandhi did not want to start a satyagraha or fast against his own followers. So he said, all right. And of course, you know how he was assassinated by Nathuram Godse, who believed that Gandhi was not caring sufficiently for what he called, quote, the Hindu, unquote, causes. Anyway, so that's where we are.
Okay, Fabian, Mahatma Gandhi's activism and the demand that he commanded and not respected, right? Let's talk about that, because even today, internationally, if someone has to say, "Oh man, you're such a Gandhi," it clearly means that, "Oh man, you're such a man for your own rules and regulations and wanting the better for the world." Right? Whenever someone does a little bit of social service, the first name that comes into everybody's head, internationally as well, "Oh, you're such a Gandhi. You're a peace loving human being." So let's talk about his reach and his, command on the rest of the world as an international icon.
Well, let me tell you a true story. Mahatma Gandhi, on his return from the Round Table Conference in London, he passed through Rome.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, Benito Mussolini was ruling Italy. Okay? He sent an invitation to Gandhi, and Gandhi accepted. Now, in Rome, there is Piazza Venezia, where there is a balcony where Mussolini used to come at around 11 o'clock in the morning and get greeted by his people. Okay? So they had a conversation, and then Mussolini said, "Let us go to the balcony." And he arranged for a military parade. And Mussolini said, "How beautiful." Gandhi said, "How disgusting."
Oh.
And Gandhi could figure out that the interpreter was not exactly translating his word.
Okay.
So he told the interpreter, "I said disgusting. Do translate it correctly." That was Gandhi. And then, when he met the King Emperor during the Round Table Conference, Gandhi was, as usual, in his, loin cloth and all that. And the King Emperor said, "It's very cold in England. You should have more clothes." And you know what Gandhi said? "Yes, Your Majesty, but Your Majesty have more than enough for the two of us."
So cool, so cool.
Look at the repartee, how he could. And then during the Round Table Conference, there was one British delegate who had the habit of saying the same thing again and again and again. And taking too long to say that. So Gandhi had the discipline to go to sleep for 5 minutes, 50 seconds, and then get up and then, sort of respond to that delegate.
Oh God, I need to learn that. That's a very cool trick. That's a very cool trick.
He knew how to make best use of the media.
Very true. Yeah.
And also his Navjeevan, his publications, Young India, all that, they were read by, it was a pre-internet age, but it didn't matter. He could capture your ears and your hearts.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Fabian, now here's a philosophical question, and I know it might just sound very cheesy, and I don't think so anyone has ever asked this question. Can there be a Mahatma Gandhi Or can there be a Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi? Before he became the Mahatma, he was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He was a man. Can there be a man similar to one we witnessed in 2021? Is that a possibility?
Okay, let me try to answer that question philosophically.
Yeah, yeah,
Aniket, if I tell myself I want to be another Albert Einstein,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will devote my next 20 years for that goal.
Yeah.
It will not happen because Albert Einstein had a high level of IQ,
Okay.
which I don't have,
True.
which I cannot have just by wanting it. Okay? But in regard to the Gandhi question, it's a question whether we can progress on the moral plane.
True.
That is, can I be a better man tomorrow than I have been today?
Yeah.
Can I have more patience? Can I look at other human beings as my friends? Can I hate evil but not the evildoer? Can I see the human being in the so called enemy? Well, I can try and I can make progress. And if I persist, there is no stop to my progress. So theoretically, it is possible for anyone to be as good as Gandhi. Morally, whether that person will have the political astuteness of Gandhi is a different matter.
Okay.
But it is possible to grow morally, and there is no limit to it. You can do what a Mother Teresa did, holding the baby, picking it up from the dirt, and seeing in the baby. Well, for Mother Teresa, it was infant Jesus Christ.
True.
For others, it was a dirty baby. So you can do that morally. But whether anyone can have that political astuteness and all that, it's a different matter.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. You just do not need IQ, but you need EQ also. That's emotional quotient. And only if you have the perfect balance, as Mahatma Gandhi did ever have, who nobody has documented, you can definitely go ahead and be the man that he was. Quarter the man Mahatma Gandhi was. Thank you, Fabian, for this brilliant episode. Happy Mahatma Gandhi Jayanti once again. I'll see you soon, and you
You
take care of yourself. Bye bye.